on the other side of the world that we're trying to garner public support for invasion of. Yes, by we I mean the corrupt people calling themselves the American government. Iran chases U.S. drone over Persian Gulf. From the New York Times. An Iranian jet fighter pursued an American surveillance drone over the Persian Gulf this week, but ended the chase after a radio warning from an American escort plane, according to Pentagon officials. The chase, which occurred Tuesday, followed a more serious encounter in November when Iranian warplanes fired on but missed a Predator drone carrying out a similar classified surveillance mission. Pentagon officials said that in both instances the drones were in international airspace. And we're supposed to trust the Pentagon on this. Right. Let's see. Even so, the episodes illustrate the chance of unintended hostilities arising from encounters between remotely piloted surveillance craft and Iranian warplanes in the heavily militarized Persian Gulf. Pentagon Press Secretary George Little said that in the episode on Tuesday, an Iranian F-4 fighter jet approached within 16 miles of the Predator, which was being escorted by a pair of American military aircraft. U.S. officials did not say what type of planes were involved. The Iranian aircraft departed after a verbal warning. Mr. Little said an initial Pentagon statement said one of the American escort planes had fired a flare to warn the Iranian jet away, but later retracted that report. We're supposed to trust you with national defense, and you can't get a frickin' report straight where you can tell us that whether or not a flare was fired? How is it that we're supposed to trust an institution? Now it might be one thing. Like there might be an explanation for why information was missed or omitted or what have you, but just something that didn't happen at all. We told you it happened. Sorry about that. Totally fabricated. Like we don't know how that happened, but trust us with your lives. Really? Holy crap. This goes back to like Gulf of Tonkin, 9/11. Something happened, but you can't really trust us. Mr. Little said that after the encounter in November, the United States sent a message to Iran that the American military would continue to conduct surveillance flights over international waters consistent with long-standing practice and our commitment to the security of the region. Oh, really? 10 years after the invasion of Iraq. 12 years after the invasion of Afghanistan. And our commitment, the U.S. government's commitment to security of the region led to the Arab Spring that is institutionalized now the worst of Islamist extremism in Egypt and created turmoil in other countries. We see a civil war now in Syria. Yes, because the American government is so committed to security in the region that it's killed hundreds of children with drone strikes, that it's even killed 24 Pakistani soldiers with a drone strike. It's continued to oppress the people of Afghanistan and Iraq and install puppet governments. Yes, that's how we get security in the region. Is security in the region just another euphemism for empire? I guess so. Mr. Little also said, we also communicated that we reserve the right to protect our military assets as well as our forces, and will continue to do so going forward. Yes, just because we've put all of our military assets in your country doesn't mean you can attack them and defend yourself. What were you thinking? We're America! Iran deployed 2 Russian-made Su-25 jets known as Frogfoots in the November episode, which was the first known instance of Iranian warplanes firing on an American surveillance drone. The Predator model involved in both encounters resembles an upside-down flying spoon and is not easily confused with a piloted fighter jet. In 2011, an RQ-170 surveillance drone operated by the CIA rather than the military crashed in Iran during a mission that was believed to have been intended to map suspected nuclear sites. That episode came to light only after Iran announced that it had electronically hacked the drone and guided it to a landing. American officials said the drone had crashed after a technological malfunction. And we're supposed to believe you. While at the same time, the government is keeping the rights it reserves for itself away from American citizens. Yes, in our final piece from the drone wars tonight, that's not true. We have drones in Egypt, we have drones in the Catholic Church, we have drones in the American government, and, drone society, drone culture. I don't know where it ends. Oh my gosh, it's a revolution. That was just the start.
We've got some hashes, so most of these are going to be a bubble extraction hash.
Please lend me your wisdom. I have watched an